Shalom and welcome. I'm Rivka the Jade Gamer, and this is Eulogy for Grace, Chapter 1, Episode 3. This is an Exalted Circle of One campaign, which means it is an Exalted campaign where there are no other players besides myself. I am running the game, I am playing the game. It is a experiment in collaborative storytelling between me, you, and the dice. We are following the story of Grave Blossom. Let me bring up her character sheet right here. And let me... Well... She is an abyssal exalt, which means that her divine spark was solar. It is now twisted and corrupted by death. The moon shadow cased are those that were eclipse cased. So she is a diplomat, she is a negotiator. She is supposed to be between life and death in as much as an abyssal exalt can be. The abyssal exalts are meant to bring about oblivion, the finality of the world. She has done a decent amount of studying, mostly martial arts and sorcery since becoming an exalt. The campaign began with her dying, and Grace's turn became Grave Blossom. Hence, Eulogy for Grace. I thought it was clever. I'm going to get rid of this. Alright. So she and her horse Swift fell and collapsed in here. Swift died on this island, became a zombie, and attacked her. She had to kill it, and she ultimately died on the shores over here. This complex is the ruins of the city of Harmonious Ascent. The city of Harmonious Ascent was constructed by Anya, the Weaver of Peace, back in the First Age. Anya, the Weaver of Peace, her calcified corpse stands on display right there as a testament to her failure. In life, Anya was an eclipse-cased exalt. When she died, her divine spark was captured, corrupted, and oh shit, this is Grave Blossom City. Or at least this is the ruined remains of what was Grave Blossom City. There have been teams of ghost builders who should be on the map somewhere. Okay. And they've been dismantling buildings and rebuilding buildings. General Hush of the Archers Exhale is down in this building over here. Due to his unkind efforts, let's say. An entity known as the Silent Judge has put him under arrest. But in exchange for keeping him alive, the Silent Judge accepted a unit of zombies as their own, and the Builders Guild has built this prison. Now, when I say prison, it is a house. It's a nice house. It's just one that General Hush is not permitted to leave. Alright, the Scrivener of Odes Unseen is a exigent exalt who is in service to the god known as Whitewashed Tombs, a servant of the Mask of Winters, the Death Lord, who gave Hush and Grave Blossom their sparks. The Broken Vow is a construct that's wandering around. What the hell are you supposed to be? Okay. Alright. The Watchful Auditor. I put silent there by mistake. So let's see. Yeah. Delete that. The Watchful Auditor is an It is a constructed being, and a second one. Excuse me. A second one was brought over to the river. They'll collect taxes and tithes. I am bringing this up now because it's not important for what's going on in the campaign. It is just the seat of Grave Blossom's power. Right now, Grave Blossom is in the city of Mulang, which is at the base of Kaesundang, Sword Mountain. Accompanying her are a Mortwright that she bound to her service after being forced into the labyrinth, and the Pugnacious Thresher, whose sword never was. He is a Death Knight in service of the Mask of Winters as well. Together, they are searching for Merchant of Mushrooms. Up ahead is Haranori, the honored ancestor that Grave Blossom bound to herself. Has been ascending up the mountain in attempt to gather information about the Merchant of Mushrooms. Along the way, he reached a warrior monk called the Fourth Northern Wind, who bested him in combat and will not allow him to ascend further. Fortunately, Grave Blossom is able to study from the blood-stained saints in the city, who taught her a ritual which allows her to see through the eyes of undead bound to her. Sorry about that. And through Satanori's eyes, she saw a woman being brought down in a palanquin. That woman is the one who is going to tell her, or is going to grant her permission to attempt to ascend. To pass the time while she was waiting for her, she sought out teachings of one of the martial arts schools in Mulan. She's a student of the Crane School, or the Crane Style. But there is no Crane Style school here. Instead, she met the warrior monk Nakama Haruka, who offered to train her in the Black Claw style. And before she was able to begin learning the style, Hakura broke down her defenses. He got close to her. He got past the teachings of the Neverborn. And he stirred something within her that she thought was dead. His openness, his vulnerability to her, his yearning for a love that he never met in life, sparked a longing within her. And it roiled inside of her. It is not right for the dead to have feelings like this. She's supposed to bring about oblivion, not to find something as creative as love. Hey Miko, how are you? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. Alright. Let's see. Gaining limit. When she purposely saves a life, or acts indirectly to save many lives, she rolls 3 dice. Mercy in the name of Death Chivalry doesn't incur this. She has not done that. When she interacts with the living as if she were one of them, she rolls 2 dice. This doesn't punish her for simply being seen as one living. She's free to infiltrate creation, so long as she never forgets that her place is among the dead. Well, she hasn't done that either. And when she answers the name she had in life or otherwise acknowledges her mortal life, she rolls 1 dice. Okay, none of those actually came into effect. But I am going to say that it is comparable to answering to her own name, to fall in love. And she gains a point of limit. The day arrives where the palanquin is supposed to reach the floor, reach the feet of the mountain, foot of the mountain, the base of the mountain. And a few of the noble warriors are waiting. Grave Blossom, the Thresher, and the Mortwright are there. And she doesn't arrive. 1 hour passes, 2 hours pass. The ghosts begin to get restless. And these are ghosts. They are not her rulers. No, she is a Death Knight. She looks at the Thresher. She looks over at the Mortwright. And she turns her attention to the war ghosts that swore fealty to her after her battle against the Legion Sanguinary. And she makes a declaration. I will not stand here and wait. I understand that there are rules and regulations that you must abide by, she says, looking at the ghosts. Alright. She does get her essence in non-charm dice. I'm going to say it's a resolve of 3. she have for presents? How many dots does she have? 2. Alright. She'll spend 2 motes. And let me just double check this real quick. Charms, presence, elegant tyrant, okay, she has 3 dice on influence rolls. And actually decreases. Okay. That is an impressive charm. So with her entourage, Grave Blossom, the pugnacious thresher atop his giant arachnid, the dozen troops within her boomerang corps, and the Mortwright begin to enter, moving beyond the city border and ascending the mountain. As they walk up the steps, climbing the path, ascending, voices begin to echo around them. Beckoning them to seek refuge in a cave. There are, in the caves of Kisendang, creatures that have begun to seek largely to cause problems. Wulang has cave paths that lead throughout the mountain forest and even directly to the shore, but they recently become infested with mindless ghosts of indiscriminate slaughter. Born of the same gigantic snake spirit, or born of that same violent, a gigantic snake spirit slithers through the paths, which have become so large and convoluted it can hide within it. Even the Mulang warrior monks dare not face it, having been given a name by those few who glimpse it from a safe distance, the Emerald Serpent of certain repose. Grave Blossom is going to have to face her first challenge while ascending. And it's going to take the form of a Mortwright. While her companions set up camp, she goes to explore and look around the caves, looking to see if she can find where the Palanquin was. We're going to toggle their combat state. And let's roll. Grave Blossom goes first. She is going to enter a defensive stance. Well, actually, she has her martial arts Open Palm Caress. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that gives her bonus dice when she's starting out rolling her initiative, I believe. Okay. No enemies receive more successes on the roll than she did. So she is going to take a passive stance, preparing to parry when the time comes. This Mortite is going to attack her. This Withering Claw. She has activated an additional parry. So 3 damage go through, dealing 4 points of damage to her initiative. And increasing the Mortite's initiative. Round 2, the Mortite is going to attack again. Trying to put her into crash. Congratulations on the 3 streaks, Nico. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Now, and look at Grave Blossom again. Empowering Justice Redirection. She did not start it. Empowering Justice Redirection can supplement any attack against an enemy who has attacked the martial artist or a character's protecting during the current or the previous round. She has been attacked. So it adds 1 success to the attack roll and 1 die to the post-soak damage. But the provoking attack did land, so it's 2 successes and 2 post-soak dice. So she's going to use her Wind and Fire Wheel. She's got 2 successes. This is a martial arts roll, not a melee roll. as the woman in black silks baits the Mortite, allowing it to attack her with its many limbs. She backs up her wind and fire wheel, basically a war fan made of metal, struggling to deflect the blows. Finally, she's able to step in, and bring the wind and fire wheel up into the Mortite's core. Which we'll call level 1 stunt. And she will burn some essence into this. To give herself an additional 2 dice. And yes. Alright. So her attack lands. She is able to strike the Mortite with her ironwood wind and fire wheel. She gains two pre-soak damage dice. And she has put the target in initiative crash. Initiative crash is very, very bad for combatants in this game. For review, combat. Initiative crash. A character whose initiative value drops to 0 or is below in a state of initiative crash is on the ropes, having utterly lost control of the fight. As long as they remain in that state, they have a hardness of 0. They cannot launch decisive attacks. They can't use charms with the perilous keyword. And their initiative can continue to be driven down lower and lower and lower until they have survived 3 consecutive turns in crash, at which case their initiative resets to 3. Round 3 begins. And she's going to launch a decisive attack against the Mortite. Now, in the previous round, the Mortite did not successfully hit her. But it did attack. Her essence is going to be her anima is going to be in bonfire, which I'll explain in a moment. But having landed a good, solid blow to the Mortite's core, she's going to attempt to continue stepping through where it is, pushing behind it, and pressing the blade of the fire wheel through its throat. In so much as a ghost has a throat. Alright. That goes up to 17 because she has her charm active. He has a hardness of 0, blah blah blah. Okay. Six damage breaks through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is all lethal damage. This is when you say, that poor bastard. So the Mortite is going to attempt to hit her. It cannot make a decisive attack, so it has to make a withering attack. It has wound penalties. It's at close range. And it misses. It should be an initial crash. I don't know why that's sitting there. Grave Blossom is going to go in for the kill. She is not going to activate her excellencies. But I do want to take a look at the stunts. I want to use them more. she has had difficulty fighting against Mortrites in the past. She's already driven the edge of this war fan through its neck. As she steps away from it, she's leaning back, almost as if she's trying to disengage. But she's going to bring her other warfan because they are paired weapons. And while trying to distract it with the warfan in one hand, the other is going to just come up and gently glide right across the neck in hopes of severing the ghostly head from the body. And the Mortrite is incapacitated. And as its essence begins to break apart, the Grave Blossom bids it adieu as its soul passes into oblivion. Nothing more for it rests on this side of existence. Now, Grave Blossom's anima, for the first time ever, went into bonfire. The area around her became completely illuminated in a sickly pale light. A silverish ring, far brighter than any of the rest of the anima, surrounds, like you're staring not at an eclipse itself, but as if that ring around her is the, what is it called, the corona of an eclipse. With the pale light of the sun having passed through death being at its center. Alright. Now there's no larceny roll to make, but Crime Unveiling Wickedness she finds the torn apart remains of a mannequin body. Something designed to allow ghosts to possess. That's basically what it is. It is a fake body that a ghost could possess if a ghost were capable of possession. But it has been badly damaged. And we're going to see if she's able to how much of it she's able to recover. Okay. She doesn't have the skill to repair it, but she has a broken ghost body artifact. The next threat that she's going to have to test against is a nameless wretch. And the nameless wretch comes out of 100 Devils Night Parade. It is a ghost that doesn't know how long it's been dead. Somebody has to know it. And she needs to find them. This was a ghost that lost itself. She spent another 5 out of that. And 8 out of there. Alright. Neither of its special abilities will be of particular use. Anguish of the Flesh. When Wretch spends willpower to add a success to an attack against an enemy, she is using violence to coerce into helping her. Add that current enemy's wound penalty. She hasn't tried to. The Nameless Wretch hasn't tried to coerce her yet. And Piteous Plea. Wretch appeals to her target's own deathly fears, while Grave Blossom doesn't have wretch is a ghost, crawling and struggling as it tries to pull itself along the ground, screeching in pain and horror as its own essence bombards it. Grave Blossom gets to go first. She is going to attempt to read intentions. As she tries to figure out what this ghost is about, because it is not like the Mortright. If it was like the Mortright, it would just be attacking her. But it is screaming and howling in pain. So she is able to read its intentions. Its defining intimacy is I must learn who I was. And the nameless wretch is going to lash out. Okay. That's done. Now Grave Blossom. Well, I'm going to start to slow her down. Now it's going to attempt to force her to assist in discovering who it is. Is Grave Blossom's resolve really only a Yeah, that I just never adjusted that since she ceased being a neophyte. Alright, social influence. Okay. So it is trying to create an intimacy within her. Help me. No, that was just a persuade roll. So stop and listen. And after that, it's going to attempt to build the intimacy. Grave Blossom is going to try to instill which goes there. An intimacy is quick, quick, I need a name. I need just a random name. Yomi! Yomi, it's you! So now it is going to attempt to instill attempting to instill into her an intimacy. I must help this ghost find their identity. So Grave Blossom now has that minor intimacy. I must help the wretch find their identity. Death's Unholy Visage is actually active in this as well. As she lies, she is outright lying to this ghost. Five successes with 2 threshold. Actually, no. Okay. It was a minor intimacy of Yomi. The hope that Yomi could be her name. That weakness is resolved by 1. Now, having gotten 3 threshold successes, that minor intimacy has become major. As she begins to believe that she is Yomayuki. And that ends that round. Grave Blossom does have the minor intimacy of the desire to help the nameless wretch. But she is sworn to serve the Mask of Winters. And taking time to do such a thing for the ghost, it interferes with her work. That's Unholy Visage. So that puts that up to 4. Now, it's defining tie. I must learn who I was. The major tie, I must find peace. The minor tie, the feeling of home. And the major tie of Yukiyomi. These aren't working together, they're not working against each other. But they are working, all of them, with Grave Blossom. Because she's giving the ghost an identity. Yoma, I'm so glad to have found you. Grave Blossom says as she kneels down. I need your help. Here, look what I found. She brings out the corpse body. I cannot repair this, but you. You're the greatest craftsman in our village. Please look this over and tell me that you can fix it. Please. And the nameless wretch gains the defining tie of I am Yoma, or Yoki, or Yukiyoma. And with that conviction, that she has found her identity, the wretch needs to be reunited with needs their body laid to rest properly. her spirit to depart to Leith. Which Grave Blossom will perform. They continue their ascent and find the shattered remains of the palanquin. This is where the mortarite comes in. It is a tracker, and it's not hard to follow the signs of battle. Not hard at all. And let's use this. We will generate we will go through and create a battle group of mortarites. So the Violence Fed Horde and leads this group? Yeah, it's gonna be Ranak. As we go into a large battle. Okay, so this one. And this one we're going to update that to be the violence fed horde. Alright. So they all have their initiatives. As the two companies come together in battle, tracking down the woman from the palanquin. The battle will begin. The boomerangers are at medium range, attacking the leader of the opponent's side. To no avail. Okay, that does not roll initiatives. That does. So Rannick gets to go first. And he is going to issue a command to his Mortrites. That does nothing. Okay. He's going to attempt to hide. So all of them are going to have to be able to pass a perception test in order to see him. So the War Ghosts are unable to catch sight of that one, are going to attack them. At medium range. The Pugnacious Thresher he's making a range attack from medium range. And they are going to attack Grave Blossom. which puts her in initiative crash. Alright, so what does... Alright. So we're just going to have that do straight, well, it's bashing damage, isn't it? Now, Grave Blossom, who is in initiative crash, is going to attack, make a withering attack with her when in Fire Wheel. Now, Open Palm Caress gives her 2 points of initiative. But she's using Empowering Justice Redirection. Martial Arts. She gains 2 success and 2 pre-soak dice. Well, I'll add those later. Okay. I have to reroll that, which is unfortunate. Alright, next round. is going to move to attack Grave Blossom. Unfortunately for him, okay, that's not directly going to help, but where are my merits? In any case, Grave Blossom does have Danger Sense. So let me pull up Danger Sense. Alright. So he is attacking out of stealth. Normally I'd give him a level 1 stunt, but I'm going to have Danger Sense take away 1 die, so this is the best way to do it. Alright. Grave Blossom has taken 4 points of lethal damage. Now, the War Ghosts can perceive him. So they're going to attempt to attack him. What can they do? What can they do? What can they do? Alright. They're only getting their base attack. So they missed. They're going to attempt to crash the we're on Grave Blossom's side and fail to hit it. Thresher. He gets to make his attack. Now he's going to give himself two bonus dice as he powers it up. He is going to be targeting them for now. He's already gone. So now it's Grave Blossom's turn. She can't make decisive attacks. So she's going to attempt withering attacks on them. In the previous round, they attacked her. Ignoring the assassin, Grave Blossom attempts to wade into the Mort rites. Using whatever strength she can muster. There it is. They're going to continue trying to crash her Mort right. war ghosts are going to make withering attacks with their boomerangs, trying to slow down the assassin. Keep him unable to predict where attacks are going to be coming from. Now the pugnacious thresher. And he is going to use willpower on this attack. And now he's going to use more motes to increase the damage. By 5. As he activates an invocation on his bow. What? Short range, ranged weapon. He spent 2 essence. So what does that? That adds 5 to it. So he's got 8 dice against Ranak. There. Alright. So Grave Blossom's Mortright is going to turn and attack the Ranak. Aiming for initiative crash. going to attempt a stealth. And go invisible. Leaving the Grave Blossom. Target them. Now, they did not attack her last round or this round. Now, on round 4, she survived 3 rounds of initiative crash, so she goes back up to 3. They keep failing. Hey, Miss Abba. They keep failing to hit. Grave Blossom's Mort right. Her Mort right is going to just use the tantrum again. They're going to move into short range with their and he's going to fire his bow into the group of Mortrites, hoping to whittle them down a bit. Now, when do they have to make their morale test? Is it immediate? Okay. They need to make another command check. All right. So on their next turn, they're going to attempt to surrender or run. So Grave Blossom is now searching for him. With his unit fleeing, he is going to attempt to withdraw. And he will be able to get away. But with them having fled, Grave Blossom is able to find a wounded Death Knight. Who we shall now generate. You see, they are an Exalt. They're an Abyssal. Well, let's grab her name. The Terrible Gardener Who Knows the Name of Whispers. Okay. There are 5 case of Exalts. And she is the 3rd. The case are Dusk, Midnight, and Daybreak. And she is a Death Knight errant. Very, very rare. are the Death Knight Errants. She is an abyssal exalt who does not serve a Death Knight. And we will learn more about her in the next session. Thank you all for joining. I had a lot of fun. I will stream later today with Stardew Valley. I just have to do some stuff around the house. Let's take a look and see who we are going to raid. Alright. We have not raided AJ in a while. AJ is playing with Kitsune and Little Pudge. And we love all of them. That is not the right one. / raid AJ. There. Raid AJ underscore AUDITORE underscore. There we go. Talk to y'all later. Bye.